So it's about to be 2 o'clock, but for everybody that doesn't know me, my name is Patricia Pitones. I'm one of the Education and Outreach Specialists here at SARC, the Sexual Assault Resource Center. We provide free virtual counseling as well as free education and outreach. We are still providing our 24/7 crisis hotline, which is 979-731-1000. And you can also email us at reachingout@sarcbv.org. And feel free to go check out our website at sarcbv.org. Follow our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook with all of our latest news and information. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about sexual assault in the military. So first off, I want to start off by saying thank you to all the veterans who have served or people who are serving in the military. We appreciate you so much. And so I want to kind of start off with the Pentagon Report that was recently released last year, and it showed that military sexual assaults increased between 2016 and 2018 from about 14,900 to 20,500 new cases, and an estimated 1 in 4 women experienced some sort of sexual harassment in 2018. Both sexual assault and sexual harassment are considered crimes in the military system, and there is a zero tolerance policy. However, it's up to the commanders whether or not to bring charges. So technically, that person who is making that decision to start this prosecution process always knows the person that is being investigated, and they often know the victim as well. So there's this conflict been built into the system. So accountability. We need to hold people accountable. That's the main issue we have to focus on. Since 2008, the U.S. Army has used the Sexual Harassment and Assault Response and Prevention Program, also known as SHARP, as a way to address the prevalence of sexual assault and harassment among its ranks. However, current research by the Department of Defense shows that the rate of both assault and harassment has not significantly declined over the years. So as I mentioned before, it has increased, if anything. So obviously those prevention efforts are not working as good as they should be, so we need to reevaluate what we can do to better those prevention efforts. In March of 2019, Acting Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan established the Sexual Assault Accountability and Investigation Task Force to review how the military handles sexual assault cases and how they make recommendations on how to combat, prosecute, and provide support to victims. Like I said before, however, there is still a lot of work that needs to be done, especially with a culture that fosters sexual assaults and sexual harassments, and those persist despite prevention efforts, which was a new study shown by the Pentagon as well. Any service member can repeat back what they've learned about preventing sexual assault and required training, but a recent study released by the Department of Defense shows that military still has a long way to go when it comes to stamping out not only assaults, but the toxic and harassing command cultures that set the stage for sexual violence in the future. So the problems are compounded when troops feel like their disclosures aren't taken seriously. Sometimes they aren't believed. They said, but other times the rank, gender, or job title are one of the perpetrators seems like a free pass. So one of the most common things is that fear of retaliation, and that's why people don't report those assaults or those harassment cases. Military life and experience of sexual violence pose unique challenges because men and women who experience sexual assault or harassment often work with the person who committed this violence, or they live with the person. So some common effects of this sexual assault can include anxiety, depression, shame, guilt, post-traumatic stress disorder, also known as PTSD, substance abuse, and even suicide. The Department of Veteran Affairs have issued the term military sexual assault. So that refers to sexual assault or harassment experienced during military service. MST includes any sexual activity that you are involved with against your will. And some examples include being pressured or coerced into sexual activities, such as with threats or negative treatment if you refuse to cooperate, or with promises of better treatment in exchange for sex. Also, someone having sexual contact with you or without your consent, such as when you were asleep or intoxicated, and also being physically forced to have sex, being touched in a sexual way that made you uncomfortable, repeated comments about your body or sexual activities, and threatening and unwanted sexual advances are considered military sexual assault. So for help with treatment or healthcare related to experiences with MST for those veterans who have suffered from sexual assault in the military, please contact your local Veterans Affairs office or medical center and ask to speak to a professional known as a MST coordinator. And I also want to give a shout out to National Hispanic Heritage Month, which is a period from September to October 15th in the United States for recognizing the contributions and influence of Hispanic Americans to the history, culture, and achievements of the U.S. And with that being said, I would love to give a special shout out and thank you to Specialist Vanessa Guillen. Specialist Vanessa Guillen, a 20-year-old small arms repairer and specialist, was stationed in Fort Hood and was killed by another soldier April 22nd. She was reported missing in late April, and her remains were found more than 2 months later, about 20 miles from the base. So Guillen's family has said that she faced sexual harassment on the base, but was too afraid to report it. And that is very common amongst military personnel. Recent studies have shown that there are a number of cultural norms within the Army and military as a whole that continue to perpetuate an environment where concepts of male masculinity and gender inequality exist. So we definitely need to change that. We need to do better and open up that conversation and not normalize this behavior in the military or anywhere for that matter. Just know, for anybody, any survivor that has experienced some type of sexual assault, sexual violence, or sexual harassment, know that you are not alone. And here at SARC, we provide free and confidential services, so you can always call our 24/7 crisis hotline any time of the day, any time of the year, and that's 979-731-1000. So right now, there is actually a new legislation in the process placed by Guillen's family alongside their attorney that will actually present the hashtag I am Vanessa Guillen bill to Capitol Hill this week, actually tomorrow for Wednesday. So if passed, the I am Vanessa Guillen bill will allow active duty members to file sexual harassment and assault claims to a third party rather than through that chain of command. So what can you do to help with this process and maybe possibly passing this bill of I am Vanessa Guillen? Well, use your voice, speak up. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter your walk of life. Just use your social media, if you do have social media, to engage Senator John Cornyn, Senator Ted Cruz, and Senator Mitch McConnell. So those are the three most powerful people in the U.S. Senate at the moment. So they can definitely weigh in with full power of their offices to encourage Congress to pass a bipartisan law immediately. So then they can take it up to the Senate and then put it into law and put it on the president's desk and possibly get a signature from it. So I actually was reading an article about another fellow military veteran and advocate. Her name was Myra Carrier, and she was one of the first people to post on her story using the hashtag I am Vanessa Guillen, and has since received dozens of messages from other service members who have experienced sexual harassment or assault while serving in the military. So Myra Carrier said seeing Vanessa's story actually brought back that trauma and the experiences that she had while also spotlighting for change. And one of the statements that she said verbatim was that the bill has to pass. Carrier said, she said, I didn't feel comfortable, and even when I did, to go report this to somebody that was close to me. So I know if I would have had that third party to report to, that things would have been so different. So definitely we need to change this legislation, these laws, these social normalization, these social norms and cultural norms that we have, which should not be normalized, of sexual assault and sexual harassment. Megan Meekma, my awesome program manager, just said the benefit of Sexual Assault Resource Center or your local rape crisis center is they are not affiliated with the military, so you don't have to worry about your superiors knowing or your fellow colleagues knowing if you didn't want them to. So we're completely confidential, and we have no affiliation with the military. So like I said, we are available 24/7. Our crisis hotline is available. If you guys do have any questions for us, feel free to email us at reachingout@sarcbb.org, because obviously on social media it's not that confidential. So if you do have a question or a comment that you do feel comfortable stating, feel free, and we will definitely get that answered for you. But like I said, my name is Patricia Batones, one of the Education Outreach Specialists at SARC, the Sexual Assault Resource Center, and we are still providing all of our great counseling services, our 24/7 crisis hotline, as well as that education and outreach aspect to change the culture, change the stigma, and change the normalization of sexual assault and harassment, because that is not okay. And I want you all to know, for anybody who has experienced or know of somebody who has experienced sexual assault or sexual harassment, especially in the military, where it should not happen. You're supposed to be, treated there with respect, and there to serve our country, and there to be safe. So just know that you are not alone. It is not your fault, and we are here. We believe you, we see you, and we're here to support you and encourage you in whatever way you need. So thank you once again. Feel free to go check out our website at sarcbb.org. It's in both English and Spanish. All of our latest news, information, and events. You can donate as well, and that goes directly to our counseling services and survivors who need that process of healing, because there's no timeline on the process of healing. So everybody has their own journey and their own way to cope with things. So thank you guys so much. My name is Patricia Batones, and if you guys ever need anything, feel free to contact us at sarcbb.org, email us at reachingout@sarcbb.org, call our crisis hotline 979-731-1000. Thank you guys so much. Have a great Tuesday, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.